pressure's been placed on the entire commodity spectrum with Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Brodie Good is Chief Executive of Alien Metals, and he joins us now. It's great to be able to catch up with you, and I know that the company has a whole range of metals, as I said, under its umbrella. Just quickly run through what you are doing at the company at the moment.
Yeah, sure. Good morning, and great to be here. So we have three main projects. In Mexico, we have two silver and one essentially copper gold project exploration phase. I'm actually heading down there next week to finally get some drilling done. In Australia, we have the iron ore project, Iron Ore Company of Australia. We have the Hancock and the Brockman tenements. We recently announced a maiden resource, DSO grade, so plus 60% grade, the best sort of quality, the greenest iron ore one can have. Over 10 million tons was our initial resource, and we feel there's plenty more to come. And then our third sort of group project is also in Western Australia in the Pilbara, surrounds the Elizabeth Hill historic silver mine. So we have that project which we acquired early last year, 100%. We have ground around that, about 120 square k's of exploration ground that sort of wraps around Elizabeth Hill. And we're also in the final throes of acquiring the money platinum, palladium, gold project, which is sort of bolts on to the south of the Elizabeth Hill project to create a very large, very exciting project, which has, in our view, there's significant capacity for potential copper, nickel, cobalt, sort of large volume, lower grade potential. There's the silver concentrated from the historic mine that was never actually mined out to any degree or fully explored, and also significantly now, but always has been for us, the platinum group minerals that the money joint venture provide, as well as some of the other targets we've already got on Elizabeth Hill.
So, as I said, you play into this double dynamic, really, don't you? In fact, the entire commodity sector is all the same play, I think, at the moment. How do you feel as being the chief executive of a company that has so much exposure to such a hot sector at the moment? Does it change anything for a small cap mining company to have this sort of attraction?
I mean, look, we're sort of being sort of coming from a geological background. All the projects have always been very interesting and challenging, and we feel a lot of potential. So we've just got on and done the work. We think they're the right commodities. You know, even 6 months ago or 3 months ago, we felt they were the right commodities for the future of the demand of the market, and the commodities we know and understand. So we're very privileged to have that. Yeah, recently with the tragic things unfolding around us, obviously that's impacting a little bit our increasing in a way what we might have as in terms of the product of the type of minerals. But you know, we'll just keep doing what we do best, and keep doing the right thing, working up the projects to a level where potentially, you know, be it partnerships or we take them ourselves to the next stage.
Yeah, you say you're off to Mexico next week to take a look in some more detail about the copper silver project. Clearly, this is silver, of course, precious metals. It plays into this idea of this almost sort of safe haven, I guess, partly. What about what's going on in Mexico at the moment? Fresnillo, when it reported earnings this week, was raising some question marks about the business at the moment in Mexico. What's Mexico like to work in?
Well, I mean, obviously, I haven't been actually personally able to go for nearly 2 years. It was nearly 2 years from last week that I was last there. We have a local Mexican team, so we have an exploration manager, country manager, sort of legal and accounting team in country, which helps because then you have local knowledge, you know, on a sort of 24/7. From our point of view, we need to develop these projects and prove that they have the potential to hold significant, for example, the silver ones to have significant high-grade economic silver, and for the copper project, potentially, the same thing. Where the politics and the broader economics go is a little bit out of our hands and our ability. But of course, we'll always be monitoring that and being sensible, but and not sort of putting too much risk into, say, funding a program that might not give us the best return on that investment in terms of the larger political issues. But you see cycles in all these things. I think the pesos was at nearly 25, 26 US dollar maybe a year ago, and I understand it's down now, but these things can always change. And also silver is a fantastic commodity. I think it's such an underappreciated, physical commodity for the uses it has and its demand going forward. So we will always keep an eye on things and make sure that we do the right thing by obviously our investors and by our team to maximize each project.
What's the project looking like out there in terms of its potential?
Well, we, as I said, it's taken us quite a long time to get our permitting in place for the drilling. We will, respond on that when we start getting some drill results in the coming months to really get a handle on the potential. But the silver projects both hold significantly high grade historic underground silver mines, which are typical of that region and that geological setting. And we just need to work those up and show the extensions, the depth extensions, and with modern extraction methods as well. Where in the past, for example, the old school miners with picks and shovels and buckets could only take the super high grade material that they could almost extract the pure silver from, and they'd have to leave what in their day was waste. In our day now is it's 10 ounce per ton silver, because we can extract it economically. So I'm really excited to get out there and get some drill holes in these projects, all three of them, to see where we go.
Yeah, iron ore, of course, is another big area for you at the moment, I know. And again, as a geologist, obviously this is going to be fascinating for you at Hancock. What about the Hancock tenement? What's that promising?
Well, Hancock, as I said, that's one of the two tenements within the stable at the moment. There's Brockman further west. So Hancock, we very quickly, with basically 2 phases of drilling, we produced an inferred resource of 10.5 million tons at, I think, 60.4%, on 3 sort of smaller resources that compound to the total. But what's significant, the higher grade, the 2 higher grade resources are defined by basically their ridges of iron ore that trend across the sort of from east to west approximately across the tenement, that we've only explored maybe not even 20% of the total ridges that exist on the tenement. We are part of the next phase of work, and again, I'm looking forward to getting down there after Easter to get a team up and running. And it's the best time for being on the ground. It's winter down there, which is almost like our summer, but so very pleasant. And we feel there's huge potential to increase significantly the resource on the ridges. Another huge benefit of the ridges is the high grade material is basically at the surface. So the ridge is formed of this material. So there's almost no waste. It's sort of extract it, put it in a truck, take it up to the port, put it in a boat, and off it goes. And we're really excited by that. We already have in discussion with various parties about possible offtakes. But at the background, we are still working up the permitting process to convert what's currently an exploration license into a mining license that would then allow us to get the shovels in and actually producing product. So it's great. It was sort of missed. It was sort of surrounded by all the big boys and girls who had bigger fish to fry, I suppose, at the time. and it sort of languished a little bit, which is where we saw the opportunity. And Brockman, the second tenement, which we now have pretty much all our permitting in place to drill, again, we feel that's got great potential to repeat what we've just done at Hancock, and to a larger degree. So yeah, it's great, and the product is that high grade, the green, the most in demand type of iron ore, which we have and which we know will always be in demand, even with possible price dips in the future. I think iron ore this morning was $157 a ton for the high grade for the sort of product we have. So yeah, it's an excellent outcome. But we're not sort of counting our chickens yet. We're going to do the next phase of work. We're being always detailed technical work to dot the I's and cross the T's on the technical side, on the permitting side, and everything else.
Yeah, let's pick up as well on the PGM part of the business. So now let's reference back to what you were saying, the tragedy that's unfolding in Ukraine at the moment. Ukraine is a palladium producer, and I mean let's just say no one benefits from war. This is a tragic situation. It's a massive loss of life at the moment, at least, and of course has potential to get a lot worse. And one always thinking about the human cost of all this. But in terms of the other side of it, and really what we're here to discuss is other parts of the business that I mean, riding, I guess, on the back of a rise in the price of palladium, the PGM metals business, the money business. My understanding is there that you've got approval for the project now. Where's that take you to, and where are you going to go now with it?
So that's correct. I mean, absolutely. From our point of view, we've been looking at this project for quite a long time. The process to acquire started before Christmas, so this is before all this awfulness happening elsewhere. Because from a corporate, from a team perspective, we felt, and we still do, that this is an excellent opportunity. Obviously, there's that's maybe compound or increased at the moment, but however, we will keep our heads down and keep doing what we do. So we received in Australia, you need to have a foreign investment review board to review any sort of significant change in ownership of a project. That was done, that was passed, because essentially Alien, both being a UK-based company, but we also have Australian subsidiaries. So it's a very open, transparent process. So that then we now do the final sort of dot the I's and cross the T's to complete the acquisition from the two joint venture partners. So already I was just talking to some guys this morning. We're already in our heads, and we have been thinking about this for a while. Right, we're going to get on the ground. We're going to sort of dig through in more detail some of the salient points that we want to then follow up quite quickly. So start working on the ground, start doing some geology, start doing some, be it some drilling, be it some trenching, be it some geochemistry over both known areas and new areas, because it's a large system. We feel that some of it hasn't been properly tested. Some of it is hidden. So the southern part of the money intrusion, which is the association to the mineralized system that's known to date, is sort of blind, is a blind system, because it's under a secondary suite of rocks that come over the top. But it's 2022 now, and the technology for geophysics, for those sort of even geochemistry has advanced so much from when people started working on this project, that we just see a great opportunity. And as I say, it's as well as the PGMs. Again, and this goes back to the Elizabeth Hill project as well, that when we first picked that up, we saw an opportunity that potentially it's not just about these sort of specific ore bodies. So Elizabeth Hill, the silver ore body, and at Money, the platinum reefs, the platinum bearing reefs. There's also potentially much larger mineralized systems containing more the nickel, copper, cobalt type minerals that could become something even more significant. And in a way, I know it might sound a bit strange, but almost the huge volume copper, nickel, cobalt type mineralization becomes something of great interest. And then the icing on the cake is the remaining silver at Elizabeth Hill, or the fresh silver we find there, plus the reefs containing the platinum and the palladium and the rhodium and the gold.
Let me just pick up on that point that you mentioned about new technology. As a chief executive of a mining company, I know that environmentalists will be breathing down your neck, as indeed they do across all of industry and every extraction company. How do you deal with the pressures being placed upon you to become more environmentally friendly? At the same time, you've got a market capitalization of £36 million, I think it is at today's reckoning. You've got all these projects underway. As a chief executive, how do you balance all that out?
Well, I think, look, environmental aspects, I've always been, for many years through my career, even in the early days, one should always be cognizant of the environment where you're working, because often you're not working in your own backyard, you're working in somebody else's. So there's the whole, this ESG development side. So that's always been important. We get advice. We've got, we use, I don't know it all. I never profess to. So you go to particular people, consultants, specialists. They give advice. They review how best to operate. Obviously, each different government. So in Australia, there's guidelines that obviously need to be followed. So when you're preparing work, when you do the work, when you clean up and then rehabilitate, for all aspects of that, be it flora, fauna, waterways, etc. So we're always cognizant and we're always developing those ideas. For example, the drilling company we finally chose to do our work in Mexico are actually one of the few drilling companies in Mexico that have been awarded a sort of certificate of excellence from the Mexican Environmental Agency, who are integral in providing permits for companies to drill. And Techmin, the particular company we're using, I recall when I went there a couple of years ago, on their wall they proudly have, a certificate of the quality of, the high quality of environmental management that they use. And that, so to me, you might pay an extra couple of dollars a meter, but actually you have that peace of mind, and you have, it's a lot of added value to have such a crew working, especially when you're drilling. I mean, drilling is, I suppose, at our phase of work until we start, or should we become miners, but the drilling phase is probably the most disruptive. So it's getting good people around me. It's using and there's some excellent people out there. Everyone's busy, but it's sort of getting them involved, giving them sort of the lead to advise, which we have been doing. So I'm really lucky. I've got some great people around me, and I sort of, in a way, it's sort of like conducting an orchestra. It's like sometimes everyone's just doing their thing, and I'm just making sure, that's fine, that's good. And how do you put your time amongst all these different projects? Because again, asking about this £36 million company, you've got so many projects underway. How do you prioritize? What's your important issue now? Because long term, you've got to pay shareholders back at some point. Yeah, sure. I mean, look, I prioritize my time on making sure that we're on track. We have strategies in place and budgets in place that we have to manage and maintain. So it's really, but having good people in the team, and I think people forget sometimes, it's the people in a way that often make a company. In what we do, a resource and sector, the projects help. Of course they do. Having good projects and add that extra level. Of course it does. But if you don't have the right people, the project, you could do the wrong thing and end up spending a lot of money and not having anything to show for it. It's I have the team in Mexico. I've got a small team in Australia, which we're going to develop now with once money sort of tied in. Then we're justified to do that. So I've got a team working on the iron ore. Lloyd Edmonds and his guys and girls are working on that, the development side. So there are people. It's not just me, trying to do everything. I've got some couple of geologists here in the UK who help on the sort of on the technical side, on the database side of things, and then bring in some really good consultants to do specific jobs when needed. And again, because they're good people, I let them get on with it, and then they produce that report at the end, and have a discussion and go to the next phase.
Let me just quickly bring up a share price. We haven't got much time left, unfortunately, but very briefly, this is the you'll be familiar with this chart. What are you saying to shareholders at the moment? Where are you going? What's your priority?
We're pursuing all our projects because we still hold immense value in all three of our projects. Honestly, any one of those projects, I think any company would be proud to have as their sole project. So we are actually in a, as sort of you've intimated, we are in a, we have a lot going on for a small company, but I'd like to see all three of the projects go to the next level. We find partnerships, strategic partners, be it iron ore focused companies, PGM or silver focused companies, or say Mexican, jurisdiction focused. As we know, there's a lot of support for Mexican projects out of North America and Canada, possibly more so than out of London or Australia, though I know Australia's probably got more than London. So it's looking at all avenues to add value to the projects, or bring in partners, be they strategic partners for finance, for technical, but still keep doing what we do. And I'd like to think we've been proving to everybody that we're quite good technically at what we do. We're not blowing huge amounts of money with no return. We're doing cost-effective, efficient programs at each phase to add value, add knowledge to then go to the next one. So we'll just, to be honest, I think we keep doing what we're doing. We evaluate carefully each phase of results, assess the should the next phase carry on, or should it actually be a time to say, well, actually that particular project is not not for alien, so therefore you drop one out of the equation. But don't forget, we're quite often being given or shown new projects to look at, which probably for now is, we still do have a look, but we've got a couple of things to get over the line first before we possibly take on anything else.
Okay, look, we look forward to catching up with you again. Bill, thanks indeed for your time. It's been a great pleasure speaking with you. It's Bill Brodie Good. He's Alien Metals Chief Executive. For more videos from us here at IGTV, join us on Twitter at IGCom, Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.